What's the worst thing I ever taught my 9-year-old son? Sarcasm. Pure, weaponized sarcasm. I thought I was teaching him confidence. Turns out, I accidentally created a tiny, emotionally unstable stand-up comedian with absolutely no respect for grown people's feelings. It started when my landlord came over to fix our kitchen sink for the 4th time in 2 months. The man tightened one screw, flooded half the cabinet, then stood there smiling, like he just saved humanity. Under my breath, I muttered, "Wow, what a professional." My son Ethan looked up from his cereal. "What does that mean?" I said, "When adults say something super nice with that voice, they usually mean the opposite." That right there was my villain origin story. Because after that, Ethan started treating fake people like unpaid comedy material. The next morning during school drop-off, one mom in a giant SUV started yelling at the crossing guard because she had to wait maybe 20 seconds. Ethan watched her speed away and whispered, "Wow, she seems calm and spiritually balanced." I almost drove straight into a mailbox laughing. Then came parent-teacher night. His teacher, Mrs. Harper, sat me down with the exhausted expression of a woman reconsidering her career choices. She smiled tightly and said, "Ethan is very observant." Immediately, I knew somebody's feelings got destroyed. I asked, "What happened?" Mrs. Harper sighed. "We were discussing honesty in class, and one student said his dad never lies." I nodded slowly. She continued, "Ethan raised his hand and said, 'That's actually kind of adorable.'" I covered my face instantly. Mrs. Harper said, "Then he asked if the boy's father also says I'm 5 minutes away while still wearing a towel." I swear I almost evaporated from embarrassment. But the real disaster happened at my cousin Lauren's engagement dinner. Lauren's fiance, Tyler, was one of those motivational podcast men. Too many bracelets, teeth too white, the kind of guy who says things like grind mindset while borrowing money from relatives. The second Tyler walked in, Ethan looked at him the same way airport dogs look at suspicious luggage. Tyler sat next to him and smiled. "Hey, little man, want to hear about my business?" Ethan shrugged politely. Then Tyler started rambling about crypto, passive income, and escaping the system. Every sentence sounded like it came with a free lawsuit. The whole table nodded like any of this made sense. Then Ethan took a sip of Sprite and asked, "So do you have a real job or just a microphone and confidence?" Lauren choked on her drink. Tyler laughed way too hard. "This kid's funny." Ethan smiled sweetly. "Thanks. My mom says people laugh extra hard when they're nervous." I kicked him under the table so fast my shoe nearly flew off. He looked at me and whispered, "Worth it." Tyler kept talking. "Most people are afraid of success." Ethan nodded seriously. "And banks are afraid of giving you loans." My aunt folded her napkin over her mouth because she was trying not to scream laughing. Then Tyler pulled out his phone to show everyone his investment portfolio. Ethan leaned over and squinted at the screen. "Why are all the numbers red? Is your money bleeding?" The entire table went dead silent. Tyler's jaw tightened. "It's temporary." Ethan nodded slowly. "That's what people say before Netflix releases a documentary." I nearly passed away. Then Lauren quietly reached for Tyler's phone, and the man reacted way too fast. Ethan immediately whispered, "Uh-oh, the raccoon just protected the trash can." Lauren unlocked the phone while Tyler panicked beside her. 3 dating app notifications popped up instantly. Nobody breathed. Tyler stood up. "Why is everyone listening to a child?" Ethan shrugged and grabbed another breadstick. "Because adults ignore warning signs when the liar is attractive." Lauren's face completely cracked. Tyler looked at me like this was somehow my fault. Before I could speak, my grandmother, 83 years old and fueled entirely by judgment, slowly lifted her iced tea and said, "That little boy didn't ruin dinner." She pointed directly at Tyler. "He just translated the bullshit."